Good evening, traders. Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well and that everybody had a good weekend. It is Sunday, May 30th, and I've got another weekly market profile forecast for you. Now, just as kind of a preface, moving into this analysis, as you guys might know, if you were trading last week or even just keeping an eye on the markets not trading, we were in quite a tight range comparatively to what we have been seeing here. So you can see on ES and NQ, here's the ES profile. Just zooming out a little bit, you can see that we have a very clear area of a support resistance flip, if you will, where we have prior highs from these sessions back first and second week of May. And these prior highs have flipped to lows from these more recent sessions starting at about May 24th. Okay, so you can see that from around 4170, which was previous resistance, we have now flipped and made that current support. Now, my thought moving into the week, and I guess before I move into the analysis any further, I want to just say again that we do have a holiday tomorrow, right? So we only have a half day, which means that there's going to be very little trading activity. The large players in the market are not going to be involved nearly as much as they will or they would be on a full day or a day not leading into a holiday. So that's why we saw tapered off volume and trading interest on Friday as well. So tomorrow is going to be very likely a super tiny profile. You can see the Globex profile right now is only 5 3/4 points. So I would take tomorrow's price action with a grain of salt, to be honest, as it's likely not going to be high volume or large moves. Just kind of speculating at that point, but that is very high probability that we're going to not see much action. So with that said, moving from Monday into Tuesday is going to be important. So my thought process is if we can, generally speaking, hold this 4170 level as support on ES, that we are very likely going to see upside continuation into new highs very shortly, even this week. Now, with that said, we have a naked point of control down here at 4192. This is a naked point of control from the May 26th regular trading hour session. So I do believe that this is a very likely level to come down and get hit before we make highs or new highs, because a naked point of control is an area of high interest, or there is typically a large amount of orders or a large or a dense pocket of liquidity at a naked point of control. So typically when we have those naked POCs lurking, that's something that I have my eye on quite a bit. And again, that is where I will look towards if we start to move down towards and through Friday's low and through the value area from Thursday. So going over to NQ, you can see we have a very similar situation here where we have essentially been ranging from 13,740, 13,730 area on the high side to 13,600 or 13,610 on the low side. So very similar situation without the naked point of control. I will be looking for price to move into 13,600 if we cannot hold the lows from these prior sessions here. And on the flip side, if we can work and hold above these highs that we have generated over the last week plus, then we are very likely to develop that higher time frame directional conviction and return to that overall uptrend that we are so used to seeing with both ES and the NQ futures markets, SPY, the Qs, things like that. With that said, if you guys trade options, just as a side note, this is a great example of when you can take advantage of shorting volatility. You can play a strangle. You could do something like a short iron condor if you want something risk defined. So for those option traders out there, for my option traders watching and a part of TTN, I hope you guys are taking advantage of that time decay and that theta and really understanding that when the market environment shifts, even if it ranges for a week, I mean, you can collect a lot of good premium, and especially if you're long underlying, from much lower, it's very, very little risk to put on a strangle or something along those lines when we do have some bracketing price action. And the profile just allows us to see that so very clearly, so incredibly clear. We have very clear levels that we know if these are violated, we are likely to move down into these areas. On NQ, you can see we have these highs down here at 13.5. We've got some confluence 13.4, 13 420, if you will, and then down into these lows if we cannot hold these levels. So as far as major levels go, I'd be looking for 13,730, 13,740 if that breaks to the upside, looking for upside directional conviction there. If we move and hold below 13.6, I would be looking for a move back down into 13,500-ish, 13,550. And then, of course, we've got some levels down here, but that is a ways away. So one level at a time, as we say. And just to show you guys some weekly profile action here, you can see that on ES, once again, we are operating above this high volume node, above the point of control from last week at 4190. So I will be looking, especially if we can hold above 4190, then I would say that strong directional conviction is likely to develop. But really, even if we come down to 4150, structure is still intact. We could come touch this. We have the POC from the monthly volume composite. So this is where the most volume in the entire month has been done right here. And just below that at 4150, you can see we have the POC from the May 17th weekly session. So areas of interest on ES, once again, obviously we've got the 4230 level. If we move and hold above 4190, that's where I'll be looking, and then to new highs. If we break below 4190, I'll be looking at this 4150 area. And then, of course, we've got some levels down here, 4120, as we talked about, and 4170. So just to show you guys one more time, we've got that 4192, and we've got 4093 down here. So here are the major areas of interest that I'll be looking at on ES, starting with this 4192 level. Break below 4170, and I'm looking at that 4150 to tap that weekly naked POC. And below that, you guys can see that we have that naked POC down at 4093 there. So let's move over. I know we're jumping around a little bit, but I just want to show you guys, this information that I'm looking at, and you guys have some time to prepare since tomorrow is going to be low-key session, only open until noon Eastern, so there's not going to be a lot of trading activity going on. You want some advice from me? Take the day off, maybe do some playback if you guys are on NinjaTrader, practice your edge, but don't waste your time and your energy trying to pick something out of the market tomorrow, in my opinion, when there is going to be less liquidity, less other time frame players involved, if any, and really the edge kind of diminishes when we don't have a lot of volume and a lot of interest from those high time frame players. So with that said, on NQ, just to reiterate here, high level I'm looking at is this 1450-ish level. Obviously, we have a naked POC right here that lines up with the high from the week of May 3rd, POC from the week of April 26th, and we have just below that the value area high from the week of April 19th. So below that, you can see that this 13,740, 13,750 level that we've been discussing is very important. And where we currently are right now at 13.7 is actually the monthly volume point of control on NQ. So this is an important level to hold. You can see here that we have some major levels lining up at that 13.5 level that I discussed. And if you want to have a little area of interest below that, you could call it, well, not so little, but for NQ, not too bad. So call it 13,590 to 13,630-ish in this area right here. So we have a bit of a volume void. So again, one level at a time, but these are what I'm looking at. So if NQ can move and hold above these prior highs here, let me get rid of these drawings. NQ can move and hold above these prior highs. I am looking for that upside directional conviction to develop, especially if we trade and hold above 763. And on the flip side, I am looking for that 13.6 level to hold. If it doesn't, well, you guys know what's up. This is where we're looking down here at these previous profile levels. So I hope this information is helping you guys get a nice foundation for the week moving forward. I hope this is really giving you ideas of how you can use these profile levels to have not only a plan for the next day, but a plan for the whole week and a bird's eye view, if you will, on the market moving into each week, using this to directly increase your probability for your trades, knowing that these are areas where larger time frame players, where big players who have the power to push price around, these are the levels that they're looking at. The highs, the lows, the point of controls, the value areas. There is no funny business with these levels. There is no manipulating these levels. I hate to use that word, but it's true. It's much easier for larger players to manipulate things like time-based charts, moving averages, lagging indicators, things like that. But when it comes to time, price, and volume plotted on a standard deviation bell curve, which is market profile, there is no hiding. this information. And that's why just plotting these levels and watching how price reacts to them, as I say very often in my daily recap videos, can give you tremendous edge and really help you understand how this market is moving and how it remains efficient. So I'm going to keep this forecast pretty short and sweet, as price action is pretty simple. We're in a range and we are looking for directional conviction or one side of that higher time frame range to break to show us where the market is going to take us next. We might develop downside directional conviction where we are playing things like the short op zone more often. We are playing breaks of diagonal trend lines coinciding with market profile levels, etc. And as you guys know, the market has been going up for quite a bit, so we may just be coiling up to absorb liquidity to continue that move to the upside. So with all of that said, I want to thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch this content. If you do like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I really do appreciate it, and it does make quite a bit of difference. If you guys want to learn more about what we do here at the Trading Network, please check out the links in the description below, where you can find first and foremost a link to our free Facebook group where I release my daily trade plans based on market profile for the ES and the NQ futures market daily at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can also find a link to our website down below, the tradingnetwork.io, where you can learn more about one-on-one mentorship with me. I offer 4-week mentorship programs, 10-week programs, and a few other varying lengths. And these are one-on-one programs where we chat daily, 5 days a week. I go over your trades. I help you develop a trade plan. I teach you my edge, exactly how I use it on a daily basis. And we get down and dirty into the details of how I am a consistently profitable trader and how we can get you there as well. In addition to my mentorship, you will also find more information about the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package. You can learn more about joining our private Discord group, where you can watch me trade live on a daily basis, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And last but not least, you can purchase access to the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course and the FFT course bundles, where you can get lifetime Discord access, the FFT course, of course, and the TTN Proprietary Indicator Package all in one bundle, even on a monthly payment plan to make it a little bit easier on your wallet as well. So if you guys have any questions about anything I mentioned, if you have any questions about market profile in general, or if you want to learn something that I didn't mention here, please feel free to drop a comment down below. Reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, Discord, any way you can find me. I will get back to you and help you any way I can. Thank you so much for being a part of the Trading Network, and I will see you guys in the next video.